Hey, yo, it's Wednesday, A1 Live. Catch us on weareA1.com.
You got it? I'm gonna jump in there too.
Hey, Action Squad in the building. That boy J Norm.
Holla at your boy.
We are A1.com. Y'all tune in right now. 8 o'clock every Wednesday night. It's going down on A1 Live. Your girl J Nicole, your boy Atumra. We got the entire Action Squad in the building. So y'all go ahead and tune in, comment, tell your friends, tell your mama, tell your granny, tell your uncle, everybody.
And bring me some tacos.
And get in the action.
If you want to be an artist, you're saying.
A1 Live coming to you. Tune in, tune in.
Get in the action.
You know what I'm saying?
Right now. Twitter, Facebook,
Everything.
yeah.
Tune in to everything.
Get in the action.
Action 1. Hey yo. Back in this thing again, A1 Live. We appreciate everybody that's checking us out via Facebook Live. Everybody checking us out on weareA1.com. Make sure that you go on Google Play and get the app. You know what I'm saying? The app is out now. You know what I'm saying? Apple coming soon. You know what I'm saying? Tell them quit making us jump through them loops because we coming, man. You know what I'm saying?
Tiny GB.
Acting bad on them, run up the bag on them, press the gas on them, hit the dash on them. I'm trying to get the money, y'all ain't gon' stop me. I'm trying to get the money, y'all ain't gon' knock me. Acting bad on them, run up the bag on them, press the gas on them, hit the dash on them. I'm trying to get the money, y'all ain't gon' stop me. I'm trying to get the money, y'all ain't gon' knock me. See y'all done messed up, put some respect on my name. See why they mad at me? I'm trying to make a little change. This for all my workers, working for minimum wage. I can't be nice to them. Y'all gotta feel my rage. How you gonna count me out? I got hit after hit, showing that fake love. They been thinking they slick. I be Uber trapping, getting my money legit. And my bow tie shining. I don't put ice on my wrist. They be side talking. I be hearing the words. See my parents die. I done been through the words. All these fake rappers, they be getting on my nerves. Southside still holding up. Had to go hard on my verse. Acting bad on them. Run up the bag on them. Press the gas on them. Hit the dash on them. I'm trying to get the money. Y'all ain't gon' stop me. I'm trying to get the money. Y'all ain't gon' knock me. Acting bad on them. Run up the bag on them. Press the gas on them. Hit the dash on them. I'm trying to get the money. Y'all ain't gon'
Action 1, inspiring action. Hey yo.
Yeah, y'all.
Hold up.
Oh, you have to put that dragon energy on him.
Hey man, what it do, man? It's your brother iTunes. We are A1.com. Hey, shout out to everybody checking us out on the website.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, everything, man. We appreciate you all. Make sure that you go into the website, you're subscribing, you're looking to our sponsorship and our membership packages, and also you're checking out our radio stream that we got going down.
It's fire.
Hey man, if you're an independent artist out there, like we've been saying ever since we started, we're here for the independent artists. So you just go to the website, and we have a place for you to submit your music. And if it's dope, we're gonna play it.
We gonna get it played.
You ain't gonna make you jump through no loops. You ain't gotta pay us. Yeah, the only thing you gotta do is be dope and have some clean music.
And don't curse. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We can play for everybody. Jay Nicole, how you doing?
Man, I'm wonderful. I'm excited about our anniversary concert coming up. Man, are you ready for that?
Man,
Y'all not ready, but what you need to do is go to weareA1.com and purchase your tickets. Early bird tickets are only $10 right now, so you definitely need to go and get them because we are going to have one of the most hottest lineup of Houston independent artists putting on a show for you guys from 7 to 10 p.m. at High Volume Music Live on Saturday, August the 3rd.
Man, when we gonna let them know who we got performing?
Man, we slowly letting them out, but right now you guys have the public knowledge that Miss Rosie Bush, Miss Natural is going to be performing live. We also have Jedi J, Nick Ramsey, Live and Learn. Man, we also have Miss Brittany Balmer performing. So yeah, you guys definitely need to be in the building for that.
For sure. Yeah, we're excited about that. And when is that going down?
August 3rd, Saturday, 7 to 10, High Volume Music Live. Man, I can't wait. It's going to be fire. Get your tickets, $10 right now. Early bird special. If you don't get them, the price is going to be higher, but you're still going to want to pay it because you don't want to miss it.
Man, I'm still coming off the high of that brunch, man.
And then the brunch was awesome.
Man, I took some of those shrimp and grits home.
Shout out Sid the Man performing at the brunch. One thing that you guys are going to realize when it comes to an Action One event, you are going to be thoroughly entertained, whether it's a corporate event, whether it's a night out on the town event, whether it's a concert. We are going to have some of the dopest independent artists performing for you guys.
For sure. So yeah, make sure, where can they get those tickets at?
They can get the tickets from weareA1.com. At the top of the page, it says buy tickets. That easy, man. This is the website, man. Check us out, man. Y'all need to come through, man. So, it's an interesting week. Not only with everything else that's been going down, the 4th of July holiday is upon us. And the 4th of July is always an interesting holiday, just from the aspect of you have everybody that's, so-called Americans, but we view this holiday or this period in time or this historical significance so differently. And, when you definitely talk about melanated people, we like the fireworks. We celebrate everybody's holidays except for our own. That's what happens. Yeah. Nah, that's true, man. But we definitely want to make sure that I just start out by saying, no matter what you see, how you feel, man, take some time, enjoy it with your family. Give some good old. I'm looking forward to the, the drunk uncle argument. I'm slowly becoming that drunk ranting uncle. Are you though? I can see it. I think I can see it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, enjoy your time. But with that being said, I couldn't think of a better guest to have this week. This brother that's right here next to me, he's definitely one of the brothers that motivates me to continuously give back, continuously going, because one thing that you always hear from some of the elder people is the fact of that there aren't enough of us actually being active, and I could think of not too many people that I know is actually putting his life and actually putting everything on the line to make the world a better place. And just like I said, whenever I see him making moves, whenever I see him giving speeches, whenever I see him getting any type of awards or accomplishments, I feel proud, what I'm saying, even though it ain't me, but you know what I'm saying, he definitely is holding it down for the brothers, one and only Anthony Collier. What's up, brother?
What's good, brother? First of all, thank you so much, both of you, for having me on the show. It's a pleasure, honor, and a privilege. I'm really happy to be here, and I appreciate it.
Hey, man. Hey,
You're
man.
welcome anytime.
Right, man. So, man, since it's your first time on the show, man, just give a little bit of little introduction of yourself, where you're from, kind of what you do.
Okay.
Because, I it's so many different things that you're a part of, it's hard to just say, oh, yeah, this brother does this or this brother does that.
So, yeah, I was born in Houston on the northeast side in Cashmere Gardens. My mom moved us out to Manor, Texas, where I went to middle school and high school, graduated from Manor New Technology High School. Then I went to Texas Southern University, graduated with a political science degree in 2018, and I'll be going to UT Law in August.
Man, UT Law.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, you ready? You ready to take on the what type of law you gonna practice?
Well, I'm not sure what type of law I'm gonna practice, but I know whatever I do is gonna be definitely community oriented. I'm definitely gonna make sure that we always have an ally and someone who can stand up to like this injustice system that often preys on young Black people. So
for sure, man. You just you just got back, man, from a wonderful pilgrimage.
Oh, yes, sir.
Can you just tell the people about that, where you went to and how long you were there and what you were doing?
Sure. So yeah, I studied at Cairo University in Egypt. I studied law and economics, and it was an incredible experience, very humbling and eye-opening. And so, of course, I got to visit the pyramids. I got to see the original Cairo University and also the American University of Cairo. And yeah, it was a phenomenal experience.
Man, what was like one of the biggest culture shocks from being over there and coming from America?
I think the biggest culture shock was the poverty. So, I mean, we see poverty here, but over there, so the majority of the people there are white Arabs, right? And of course, we know those aren't the original Egyptians, but from Arabia, they came over and kind of conquered. Most of Africa was colonized. Egypt is no different. So it was colonized by the white Arabs, and they're the ones who pretty much run Egypt right now. And I was in Cairo. And so, but there was some immigrants there from like Sudan who were very poor, and they would be on the corner. Like it was very like eye opening to see that type of poverty and to see Black people suffering, everywhere. And so we definitely have to do something as a people to overcome, this oppression that we're seeing worldwide, really.
For sure. How was it visiting some of the historical sites?
It was cool, like seeing the pyramids. They're huge. Like, I even climbed on the side of one. You're not really supposed to touch them. But I climbed on the side of
it. This far, man.
He's an American over there.
Hey, came this far. I got to.
Yeah, definitely. And it was interesting to see like the nose blown off the Sphinx, and even some of like in the museum, some of the ancient art. You see how melanated the people were, how dark skinned the people were, and you just see traces of our people all throughout Egypt. So I thought that was pretty interesting as well.
Right.
What about the culture? How does the culture vary from here to Egypt?
Well, in the schools, it's pretty much the same. So the school system is set up the same way with the professor at the front. They might have like a PowerPoint presentation, and that's sitting in the rows. So that was pretty much the same. As far as in the streets, it depends on the socioeconomic status of the individual. So the people who are poor, kind of like here, the poorer you are, the more religious you are. You are more of a fundamentalist if you were poor. And so the women who are poor, and Islam was like the predominant religion there. Right. And if you were poor, if you were a woman, when you walked outside, you were covered up. You had, the scarf, the head wrap, and everything. But and most of the poor people went to Cairo University. The rich people went to the American University in Cairo. And those girls, they would wear jeans and they would wear their hair out, and they was choosing too. Right. And everybody. And so like if I wore a James Harden jersey, they thought I was actually James Harden. They was asking for autographs and pictures.
Let me stop you. Did you stunt on them one time like you were somebody that you were?
I didn't. I was like, I let them know, look, I'm just a regular old African. But my beard was kind of thick out there because that was kind of like the style. So I let my beard grow out a little bit, and the food was delicious. Also, $1 US is worth 18 Egyptian pounds. So you able to live large on a small amount of money out
Ooh, I'm
there.
go out there with $100. I'm
I ain't
a
got that
ball out.
I know, man. I wish I could grow the beard, man. You know, I be trying. You know, like you and TK.
struggling?
Yeah, man. I grow a beard. I look like Anthony Hamilton, man. You know what I'm saying? I look part homeless, man. You know what I'm saying? It don't look right, man.
Come back, Charlene.
Oh man, but that's dope, man. What was the one thing you missed about home while you were over there?
Tex-Mex. I miss like guacamole and like a lot of the Mexican food. There's no Mexican food out there. Like,
No Mexican?
There's no. I really didn't see any Mexicans while I was out there. Really. And in my class, I was the only actually American student. So I was actually the first American student admitted into the program. So yeah, the culture is a lot different. But of course, like since Britain colonized the world, everywhere you go, people gonna speak English.
Right.
And there's certain things that you gonna, that like it's gonna be a KFC. You gonna see like
McDonald's.
Sure. McDonald's. That's everywhere. But like the Tex-Mex that we're accustomed to in Texas, like that's not there.
So you should have brought that out there. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, start like
Yeah, I got
Hey,
it.
what's
Start a
business
restaurant
idea.
out
Had
there.
tacos up in here. I could hook them up real quick.
You could make some money out there on that.
Oh man, that's what's up.
Message.
Man. Yeah, for sure, man. So now you're back, man. You know what I'm saying? You're getting back, you know what I'm saying, adjusted and everything like
Yes,
that,
sir,
man.
yep.
And you ready to hit up the law school, man. Whew, man, that's a tough thing. You say UT?
Yes, sir. I'll be at UT.
Oh man, and
Yeah,
I know
they gave me
that.
a full ride public interest scholarship, so I thank God for that. Definitely.
Oh wow,
That's amazing.
Wow, man, I told you, man. This brother
That's
heavy,
amazing.
man.
Congratulations.
Yeah, for sure. Well, man, we finna roll into this first commercial break. And then, when we come back, I have a lot of topics, what I'm saying, I want to throw this brother's way, what I'm saying, from politics to some of these other things that's going on, man. Brother Atum Ra, we are A1.com, A1 Live, RJQ, what's up?
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl Janetta with A1 Live Pop-Up here at African Fashion Week Art, Wine, and Culture event. We are having an amazing time. They have some lovely art pieces to see. So go ahead, get down here. You still have time. Everybody get in the action.
You're tuned in to the all-new Action One Network.
Music lives.
Turn up your volume.
I just been sitting back in the cut, building up my energy. Yeah. I had to tap into my energy. Some motivation.
Can you feel my energy?
Yeah.
You know I got good energy.
Energy. I pray for energy to make it through another day. Cause evil spirits always trying to knock me out the way. Off my path, but I understand the Lord is with me. See them haters, if they could, they'll come and get me. Crooked cops wanna lock me up, but that's okay. Cause I know that the Holy Spirit gon' show me the way to stay out of trouble. I'm just trying to stay humble. I'm in the concrete jungle, every day I live the struggle. I see mothers raising their kids all alone. These brothers out here catching the bus, cause we all in the battle zone. Why they take my ID from me? They don't wanna see me riding in the hood. That's okay, I be walking still shining in the spirit. Faith works and I let them know it. A poor righteous poet with the love of God and I show it. That's why I get it back everywhere I go. I'm giving everything I got until I'm gone. I give the people energy. Gave my all to this craft, perhaps it was a waste of time. Perhaps I lacked the faith, or maybe it was fate. A season to create a masterpiece for the entire world to embrace. Never will forget the night that I slept outside downtown H-Town. I ain't have a ride. It was open mic and I wanted to recite, share the reflections of my mind, interpretations of this life. Stay connected to the people, force them to hear my voice, alternate they thinking, show them they had a choice. On the underground hustle, I got a lot to prove. Never broke me down, a few times I got booed, but I always been that dude, bringing spiritual food, connected to the creator, which is keeping me in tune with the calling on my life, which is keeping me consumed with the passion and the power to do the things I do. I give you energy.
I said that we understand that there are good cops. I have some very close friends who are officers, and I know that their hearts are pure and they're good people. But the policy here in Harris County allows those bad cops to get away with things, so we can't recognize who the good cops are because the bad cops are protected by the policy. So we want to change the policy that allows police to kill black and brown people at will.
And when you say policy, does that mean in a situation where they may be unarmed to de-escalate using tasers,
right, or even communication? I mean, there should be some type of training where you know how to de-escalate the situation just through communication. I have children that I work with, and I know how to de-escalate the situation. And that's not to say that our officers do not face extreme circumstances, but we also feel like sometimes the officers escalate those circumstances. And so tonight we're going to have a town hall meeting with the No More Bloodshed movement to discuss police and civilian interaction, because we're not here to hate on the police. That's not what we're here for. What we want is policy that is safe and fair for both the police and the civilians.
See, I was able to maneuver these H-Town streets where police bang and creep like Pyrus and Hoovers do. Got out the hood cause I was trying to do something good, but still stayed in touch like cuticles, so I be cruising through the neighborhood from time to time. Family might be out of sight, but they ain't never out of mind. Always in my heart, know where I got my start. First missionary Baptist cross the street from Bricker Park. Now I roam different parts of the globe. Africa to Rome, no matter where I go. Houston's home, props to pioneers who opened the door. Showed us what to do, who taking the score. One for the home team, always repping the H. Texas the great, Lone Star State. Nothing but love, fills my heart like a cavity. I'm representing for the whole Southern family. That energy.
It's inside of me, going and going in time, blowing me out of my mind. Every day is so nice, and it feels so right. Oh, energy, I feel it all inside of me. Yeah, energy, you know I got the energy.
Action 1, inspiring next. Hey yo, brother Atumar, we are A1.com. J. Nicole, RJ Action Jackson holding us down, man. I'm with the one and only Anthony holding us down, man. So you know, I wanna get your opinions on the first round of the 2020 Democratic debate.
Okay.
But you know, since we are down here in H-Town, you know, we have some interesting races and cases, you know what I'm saying, that have kind of been shaping the political landscape. You know, they've just recently had an interesting ruling on marijuana. And the HPD crime lab said that they was going to cease testing for a little while.
4 ounces.
Yeah. Well, you know, just with the new hemp laws. And you know they were saying they don't have a really way to test for it.
Right. Like drivers who are driving.
Right. Well, Well, for drivers that are driving, then also the amount of THC.
Okay.
That's
3%.
within the
3%.
Right, but see, the problem is the test costs so much for them to test, and all agencies don't have it. So they were like, until we figure out how to do something. So man, shout out to
Under 4 ounces, 3%. Remember those numbers.
Oh man, we got you. But down here in Houston, man, 2019, man, we have a mayoral race coming up.
Yep.
Sylvester Turner gonna hold on. It was interesting. I didn't see at first the white Boykins hopping in, but I've heard mixed reviews on that, man. What's your opinions on the 2019 Houston mayoral race?
Well, first of all, I think it's important that the listeners understand that the last day to register to vote is Monday, October 7th, and the first day of early voting is Monday, October 21st. The last day of early voting is November 1st, and then the election day is November the 5th.
Get that early voting in.
Yeah, and so I think that Proposition B, I think, is the reason why the white Boykins is in the race. So the firefighters, it seems that their number one concern is making sure Mayor Turner does not get reelected. And it seems that they are willing to give the white Boykins an unlimited budget, as far as campaigning goes. I think that Mayor Turner, I see him still getting reelected because of course we have Tony Busby, we have Bill King in the race. I see them kind of splitting the white vote. And although the firefighters are supporting the white Boykins, I see Mayor Turner still carrying the police union because they actually was on his side.
He got that deal for him.
Yeah, when it came to Proposition B. And also, Mayor Turner expanded. So initially when he came into office, the summer jobs program, which primarily benefits like black and brown inner city youth, it was about 250 students or youth who had the jobs. He expanded it to 10,000. Also, in 2018, we have the underutilized business program, about $200 million allocated for that. In 2018, $101 million of that $200 million went to black businesses, which is the most in the city of Houston's history.
Oh, wow.
And so, what he did with black businesses and also with the summer job, and also we have to look at public transportation. I think that to me, that's the number one issue going into 2019. We have to have a mayor who's going to properly invest in the public transportation.
Wait. Man, everybody talk about a lot of different things, man. You're the first person to bring up the public transportation, man. Right. Why would that be one of the top issues?
Because I just saw an article in the Houston Chronicle this morning that Houston is the deadliest city when it comes to drivers and passengers for accidents. Our roads are congested. There's so many people moving into Houston every day because it's the cost of living is low here, but we're still a major city, and so our city is not built for all of these people. And a public transportation system will make our roads safer. It'll make sure people who can't afford a car can get to work on time and get to work more efficiently. And really, like, our people and poorer people will benefit the most from public transportation. Now, Bill King and Tony Busby are against public transportation because their voters are wealthy commuters from Pearland and the Woodlands. So they're like, they don't want to see money put in that. I don't know Boykins' position on public transportation, but I guess he will be more aligned with Mayor Turner on that, considering he's black and he represents Third Ward.
I can think of one other thing that public transportation could help out with. Homicide. All those people out there with road rage, it's not funny. It's a real thing. A lot of people are affected by road rage.
Nah, that's facts, man. And then just with, like you said, the way we have everything set out in Houston, I was actually telling my kids, like, Houston is like the only place where you can get caught in a traffic jam and then leave the traffic jam and almost get in an accident with a car, with a bike, with the bus, or with a dude on a horse. Like, like all of it is right there, you know what I'm saying? And, you going down Cullen the Homes, man, you get a dude on a horse, you know what I'm saying?
I saw 3 horses off of West Fuquay and Harm Clark right there the other day.
You see, what's up,
everywhere.
Also, when we're talking about the mayoral race, we also have to look at, like, qualifications. Now, Mayor Turner. So I have a background as well working in the Capitol. I was legislative director for Representative Ron Reynolds.
Right.
Mayor Turner, of course, was the state representative. Represent Acres Homes for a decade.
Right.
And he sat on appropriations overseeing a multi-billion-dollar budget, which is why when he came into office, he was able to cut in 4 years, able to cut the city's debt in half, and also balance the budgets, which is something that we haven't seen in a long time. So I feel like Houston is headed in the right direction right now.
Man. How do you think? Because he's had criticism and praise on both sides for how he's handled the natural disaster and just the whole flooding situation that goes on down here.
Well, we definitely have an infrastructure problem. Minister Robert Muhammad, shout out to him. He got his doctorate in urban planning from the illustrious Texas Southern University.
Yeah,
and he taught me that a lot of the times it comes from greedy developers. Like they know they shouldn't be building housing in these locations where it's prone to flooding because there's a lack of like trees and grass. There's nowhere for the water to go, so it sits on this concrete. And so we definitely need someone in the mayor's office who's willing to stand up to those developers and make sure that moving forward we're not building in places where we shouldn't be building.
$300,000 homes.
Right. Now, as far as Mayor Turner's response to the hurricane, I'm not 100% sure on that. What do you think? How do you think he did?
I mean, to be honest with you, I think he handled it well. I think, just as far as being the leader, you know what I'm saying, and in command of, you know what I'm saying, everything that's going on. Just for some of us that were helping people at the time and afterwards, you understand, you know what I'm saying, how things can be chaotic. But, from what I can see, the way that they were having everything set up, you know what I'm saying, and not only just during Harvey, but, during these other multiple storms and things like that, I have seen it seems like more crews out shutting off those low lying areas and you know what I'm saying, at least putting up the barricades. Now if y'all want to go around it, that's on y'all, which that I still see people do. But yeah, I have seen more, it looks like a concerted effort to get out and block off these low lying areas, which I think, you know what I'm saying, has been pretty important.
I can also just speak from my experience. I've seen after Harvey, I've seen where there's been city workers out there working on the plumbing and the infrastructure in Houston, with my own eyes. And that's just what I've seen just driving around Houston. You see them pulling out old pipes, putting in new ones and stuff like that. So I think he's been working to try to fix the problem. It's just that Houston is so big.
Almost down.
It's not an overnight fix.
And let me ask you, as far as it relates to the hurricane or the disaster relief, is that a city thing? Is that a state thing? Or is that a national congressional thing as far as it relates? Because there's been a lot of debates, and I think they just recently appropriated some funds.
Right. And so, the funds come from the federal government, and then it has to go through the state, and then it's allocated to the city. So Mayor Turner will have to wait, and like you said, some was just allocated, so for it to go through the state and the state to send it to the city.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. Like I said, it's been tough for him ever since that Prop B fight. And some people say it was because of how he mismanaged the police thing and kind of gave, you know what I'm saying, whatever. I mean, I voted for Prop B, and I know it was a highly contentious thing. But yeah, it just seems like ever since then, them firefighters been on his butt, man. They gave him no space.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that Mayor Turner, he didn't create this problem; he inherited it because the issue with the firefighters is the firefighters have been refusing their raises because they've been saying we won't accept this raise because we want to be paid as much as police. And this was before Mayor Turner got here. Right. So over the years, the gap has grown so wide to where now it's do or die. They we want all or nothing. Right. And they sent it to the voters. Some people feel like the wording was a little misleading, and some of the voters didn't understand the financial crunch we'll be in. But at the end of the day, the voters decided. Right. And this is a democracy. So I feel like what Mayor Turner should have. I feel like, of course, I'm being been Monday morning and quarterback here. In hindsight, it's 2020. Right. But I think Mayor Turner had picked an unnecessary fight. He should have just came out and said, "Look, if y'all vote for this, it's gonna be layoffs. Right. Y'all voted for it, and then I would have quietly just, hey, I gotta balance the budgets.
Right. This was gonna happen.
This was gonna happen. Do it and move on. Like, he made it a public fight, and you definitely don't want to take on the firefighters because they're loved and they're needed.
And it turned national. You know what I mean? Like, it was national. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting, Rock. So man, since Dwight Boykins has thrown his hat in the ring, you know that is leaving an opening in District D.
Yep.
And you know the other week, man, you know we definitely had to send a shout out, you know, R.I.P. to that the one and only Bushwick Bill. You know what I'm saying, brother, man, go stream that boy music right now for his family. But you know we have two ghetto boys that are getting in the mix, man. First of all, that's what I'm hearing, man. That's what I'm hearing. I'm not exactly sure yet, but yeah, that's what I've been hearing the rumor. But I mean, we definitely know that brother Face is throwing his hat in the ring. What's your thoughts on his chances in District D?
Well, first of all, I'm a huge Scarface fan. Facemob,
top five,
top five, dead or alive.
What's
Scarface, for sure. That's one of the greatest rappers to ever do it. I think if Willie D jumps in the race, then they may split that like hip hop influence, and they could both end up not making it. If Willie D jumps in, I also think that Carolyn Shabazz has thrown her hat in the ring. She has a lot of political experience. She has name recognition, and when we look at voting in Houston, the average voting age, the last mayoral elections was like 70.
Right.
So I don't think 70-year-olds really checking for Scarface or Willie D. Right. So they could potentially have some problems. Yeah. The only pathway to victory I see for them is creating new voters, reaching out to the youth and mid-age black folks, getting them registered to vote, and getting them excited about voting for them.
Right, and I could be wrong, but I think Willie D may be trying for District B.
District B, okay.
Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my homie Robin, man. Oh, man, let's see that. What we got?
District B. It's a lot of people running for District B as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you got the Houston Cron right here, you know what I'm saying? That's dropping it in. I was trying to see what seat.
District B,
yeah.
Okay,
District
so
B. That's what I thought that north side.
Wow. I didn't think it would be smart for them to run together.
Oh yeah, no. But you know, Facemob south side. So you know what I'm saying.
So now with both of them in the race, that's gonna actually help them because now they can build like almost like a ticket, like a Ghetto Boys ticket, and help each other out. So this should be interesting.
Right. That's gonna be the real dope. I want to be there. I'm there for that.
You know what I'm saying? I want to see how it shape up, man. I know I got my homie Robin that's running for District B as well. And is it Jerry Davis gonna run again?
No, he's term limited. That's why we see so many people running for that seat because it's an open seat. But there is speculation that Jerry Davis may run against Harold Dutton for that state rep seat in the Homestead Cashmere Garden area.
That's gonna be interesting.
So watch out for that.
Yeah, for sure, man. So just kind of stepping out a little bit wider. I've been having this ongoing debate with one of my partners about Beto. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't have nothing against him. You know what I'm saying? Like, cool, whatever. But I mean, I thought that he should have shot his shot again on the state level. You know what I'm saying? And just kind of with 2020 being so crowded, and with him coming from a smaller district in Texas and not necessarily having some of the exposure, you know what I'm saying? I kind of thought it was gonna be hard for him. But I thought that he would have stood a pretty good chance against Cornyn. You know what I'm saying? Then kind of than he did against Ted Cruz. Because, Ted Cruz kind of had that outside money. Or should I say I felt Cornyn was more vulnerable.
Right.
But with that being said, they had the first round of the 2020 debates. And that was an interesting exchange between Beto and Castro. Did you get the chance?
I did see that. Hey, Castro kind of hit
you do your homework.
And then also I was also read at NBC that Castro had the best debate performance out of both nights, and he's seen the biggest jump in his approval ratings based off of his debate performance. And part of that was that smackdown he put on Beto.
Hey man, he
know how I feel about Beto. He looks shifty to me. It's something about his persona that I just can't feel in my spirit.
Right. Well, yeah, and that was kind of one of the things that I was kind of seeing that, like kind of in this day and age of political gas and everything being so viral. It was like, man, I think
sage.
he's kind of prone to one of those Howard Dean, Mitt Romney moments. And you know how it is now. That's all they take is that one.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's still people kind of, you know what I'm saying, throwing his name out there. But like you said, Castro it's been rising good, man.
Yeah. I think Beto is good in more intimate settings. Like, he's a really
Right.
good storyteller.
Right.
And so you saw how he went viral during the Senate race when he was talking about the history of the oppression of African Americans. But when you're on a debate stage and there's so many people, it's so crowded, you don't really have time to give a whole dissertation or tell a story. And so in that sound bite type of culture,
That's
it's
what I'm
tough
saying,
for
it's
him.
not. That's what I'm saying. And I
Yeah.
think with the whole, like say, him and Ted Cruz, where he was able to explain himself. That's
'Cause
why
there
I
was
think
only two of them.
Right. That's why I think he would have smacked down on Coroner because like he
Yeah.
got like way more personality
Yeah.
than he is.
I think him and Julian and Joaquin Castro, all three of them should have formed a power ticket for state politics. One could have ran for governor, lieutenant governor, and U.S. Senate, and I feel like they would have took it.
Right.
The three of them on one ticket.
Man, I want to ask you before we get too far into 2020, you know, just kind of building on that Beto race. You know, there's been a lot of talk about Texas turning blue, or you know, what I'm saying, or so to say, turning purple.
Right.
I mean, of course, you see it in the, you know, what I'm saying, the inner cities and things like that, but it hasn't really translated. You know, what I'm saying, I think across the state.
Right.
Like, why was there more emphasis this past time put on like the Senate race than it was on the governor's race, in your opinion?
Because of Beto O'Rourke. So Beto in that Senate race, Beto was like a superstar. Like he was a rock star. Like that viral speech he gave on like Ellen was tweeting it, LeBron James was tweeting it. He just, and so really usually the off years, like not presidential elections, is usually a much lower voter turnout.
Absolutely.
But because of Beto, it really performed like a presidential year. The turnout was extremely high. It was even higher than it was in the 2012 presidential election. And so I think that's why it was so much attention on that U.S. Senate race, because Beto was in that race. And it's been over 20 years since a Democrat won a statewide race. Ever since George W. Bush beat Ann Richards for governor, Republicans been wrecked shop.
They've been killing it. They're racking up.
Yeah, so this was the first time that we saw a really competitive race, and I think Beto has turned Texas into a battleground state.
Man, but why didn't some of the other races, like the governorship, like old criminal Ken Paxton AG race, why didn't some of those races see, you know what I'm saying, at least some of those waves from the people that may come out, and you know, a lot of people vote straight party and things like that. Why?
The candidates didn't have the star power that Beto has, and that's why I think Beto alone was able to. He was like really the only household name on that ticket. That's why I think if Julian Castro and Joaquin Castro had joined him, that I think then we would have been talking about the governor's race and the attorney general's race, and I think we probably would have won.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I just feel like he just puts on that persona. He's the most friendliest. He's the perfect guy. He's your friend from down the street. He comes to, you know, places of debates and stuff with his hair shuffled and stuff. You know, that's your best friend from high school.
He kind of reminds me of Robert Kennedy. He has that look to him.
It kind of reminds me of Norman Bates, but yeah. But man, like who you watching so far in 2020, man?
In 2020, I think Julian Castro had the strongest performance, but I think Kamala Harris had the second best performance, a close second, because she really put her foot up Joe Biden behind.
And she had that boy explaining himself the next day, like, you know what I'm saying, like.
And the thing is, she was right. So Joe Biden is really one of those good old boys, conservative Democrats, and a lot of black people who are not as politically astute, they see that Obama picked Joe Biden and they think he get a hood pass.
Right.
But the truth is, the reason why Obama picked Joe Biden is because he wanted to get that conservative white vote, like those borderline Republican white folks.
What they say, Reagan Democrats.
Yeah, those Reagan Democrats. So Obama chose him from a strategic standpoint, not because he liked Joe Biden.
Right. And don't fall for it. You guys gave Bill Clinton a hood pass. And how that turned out.
Hit us with that 94 crime bill.
Exactly.
And Joe Biden was a U.S. senator who wrote that 94 crime bill.
Ma'am.
Joe Biden been kind of
message.
Yeah, he for sure. And when he tried to weasel out of when Kamala Harris came at him, when he was like, I wasn't against
Right.
busing.
Right.
I was against the federal government forcing states. And it's like that was the whole point of the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act. Local governments were oppressing black folks, so the federal government has to step in and check them. And so the fact that he still couldn't apologize and admit that he was wrong is very concerning.
Right. You had my position wrong. You know, but she had that one in the chamber though. Like she was waiting on it.
I know she was sitting on that. She went in there with that. I can't wait till they get to this section right here because I'm about to put you on
You know
blast.
who that little black girl was? It was me. You want to stop me, and then but like I said, you really knew the next day. Like I said, when boys calling press conferences to try to explain themselves, you know, you got a
sister after you now.
Yeah, you gotta.
She reclaiming our time, baby.
Yeah, man. But you know what I'm saying? I know you not much of a betting man, but you know what I'm saying? Who would you bet on right now has the best chance of getting the nomination?
The best chance to get the nomination, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but I really like Bernie Sanders, and the reason why I like Bernie is because the whole 2020 Democratic platform is Bernie Sanders' platform. Right. Before he started running for president in 2015, like Medicare for all, $15 minimum wage, like free college, all of those things were considered fringe, radical ideas, but now they're mainstream talking points because of Bernie. And I feel like I was watching this MSNBC interview with Kamala Harris, and one of the commentators was saying that, do you think Joe Biden is a generational problem like him and Bernie, since they're so old, they just see things in a conservative light? I'm like, no, because back then when Joe Biden was working with segregation and was against busing, Bernie was protesting and was against segregation and was pro busing. So he's been so consistent throughout the years. He had speeches speaking against the 94 crime bill. I feel like that his authenticity is so rare in politics that he has a good chance of winning.
Man, it seems like Bernie's problem isn't with the people, it's with the DNC. You know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily know who he rubbed wrong or who he cut off, but yeah, it seems like because even like, you know what I'm saying, last time, you know what I'm saying, how they proved that they bulldozed, you know what I'm saying, Hillary through.
They got caught red-handed.
They fired everybody, man. Yeah. But I you know, from the first thing, I think Elizabeth Warren did pretty well. You know, she just kind of seemed like in control, you know what I'm saying, of herself. I think I heard somebody say she looked like the college professor in the room, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she's another one similar to Bernie Sanders, who's very authentic, she's brilliant, and to me, she has the most detailed policy proposals. Right. So I think from that standpoint, she's good. I am a little concerned about her on the debate stage with Donald Trump because of the Native American controversy. Like when he called her Pocahontas, like it was wrong, but I laughed a little bit. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh man,
like I just did.
Oh yeah, man. Hey man, they be getting mad at me, man. But hey man, that boy Trump, man, that boy's funny to me, man.
He is kind of funny.
Like I said, I was dying the other day when he was talking about why hasn't Obama endorsed Biden? Like I don't know why, man. He's out on the White House lawn just taking shots and trolling. I'm like, man, I'm on the floor, but it's like you kind of think about it, like
Obama ain't gonna endorse Biden. That goes back to what we just talked about.
Right.
Like, what he chose him, it was a strategic, and we as black people should adopt that. There is no permanent allies.
Come on now.
Permanent interest.
Come on now, hey, that's how I know
you
you've been brother Badu, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, yeah, nah, absolutely, man. Like
y'all
brother,
just dabbed it up real quick.
Oh yeah, nah, man, because like he said, man, the great brother Robert Abdul Muhammad, you know what I'm saying? That's one thing that I definitely picked up from him. You know what I'm saying? We have no permanent friends, we have no permanent allies. We have no permanent allies, we have no permanent enemies, we only have permanent interests.
Yep.
And that's really the way that, you know what I'm saying, we need to think, because like you said, like we've had this democratic hold, you know what I'm saying, on our people. And when I say it, you know what I'm saying, the first thing people, you say vote Republicans, they ain't do nothing else, but it's kind of like, no, it's not that, but at the same time, we have to make both sides work, you know what I'm saying, for our interests, you know what I'm saying?
I agree with that 100%. We can't allow either party to take our vote for granted, because if they feel like we're going to vote for them automatically just because we're afraid of Trump, they're less likely to do something for us. But if they feel like if you don't work for our people, we may withhold our vote. They'll be more likely to work for us.
Right. Man, as we get ready for this commercial break, man, real quick, man, I want to ask you, man, on this whole like Russia thing that's going on. Not necessarily from the aspect of Trump and everything like that, but from the aspect of Russia took the position, which I don't really think really did that much, because I have opinion that we got the electoral college, those people that selected all this. Hillary still won the popular vote, despite what they say. Yeah, she still won the popular vote. But with that being said, the Russians struck a nerve that I think America still doesn't want to accept. That they want to talk more about Russia hacking the election and potentially not having black people voting, but they don't want to address the fact of that the world knows that there's a rift in between black people and America, and that regardless of whether it worked or not, they knew to try to exploit that loophole, and they don't want to answer why black people feel the way that they feel, you know what I'm saying, towards the government. But just why do you think they took that strategy or that approach, man?
Racism is a weakness, and it almost tore this country apart in 2016. So it's almost like if you in a boxing match, say Russia and the United States is boxing, and Russia know your left block game is weak, they gonna keep hitting you right there. They like, we found a weakness, we gonna exploit it. Or even in a basketball game, if they know you injured your leg, they gonna keep driving to your left side and score drop 50 on you. That's what Russia is doing with this racism weakness that the United States has.
Right, man, Russia made pro-black websites and everything. Oh man, that's why I have to let them know, man. Melanated Illuminated, man, it's not run by Russia, man. I read it, man. But yeah, man, you never know, man. Hey, man, we're finna roll into another break, man, and we gonna be back, man. Brother Atum Ra, A1 Live, man. RJQ, what's up? Man, you still here? Go on and subscribe.
Get into action. Yo, we back at it again, baby.
What?
Get into action.
3.
Get into action.
Tell me what is the deal, tell me what is the deal.
So I challenge you today to start strong.
Get in the action.
Tell me what is the deal. Cause I'm calling for you.
Get in the action.
Can you feel that? See, I'm calling for you. Can you feel that? See, I'm calling for you. Can you feel that? See, I'm calling for you. Say how you really feel.
I am enough.
I am enough.
Love yourself.
Love yourself.
Girl power.
Girl power.
And I am worth it.
I am worth it.
Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Step in closer. Hug each other. Bye, guys.
Action 1, inspiring action. Have you in more often, you know what I'm saying, when we get you in town, or we might have to come out to ATX to come and see you, man. You know what I'm saying? Bring the show to you, man, because like I said, man, I feel like I said, man, Houston, we could pull up and we can talk all night, man.
Yes, sir.
And like I said, bro, like I said, you're definitely appreciated, man. And because I'm a strong believer, man, and I say this all the time, man, and giving people their flowers while they still here, you know what I'm saying, instead of waiting till they pass on or they can no longer do the work, to be like, oh man, this brother meant so much to us, man, you know what I'm saying, or this brother, we appreciate what you do, man. So man, I definitely, you know what I'm saying, want to make sure that I continue giving your flowers, brother, man, because I know you're gonna stay true to the game, man. But as much as we talked about politics and everything else like that, you can't be down in Houston, Texas, and you can't talk about community work without mentioning Deloitte Parker.
Facts.
Man.
Like you can't do it. Like you can't talk about institutions and organizations that have been there and have helped our people and not mention the Shape Community Center. You know what I'm saying? They have several locations on Live Oak and on Alameda. And I could just say this right now because, I mean, I've mentioned Shape before, and people have been like, you know what I'm saying, what's that? If you a melanated person in Houston and you haven't been to Shape, you need to get your butt down there. Like right now. But Shape, I mean, you know, we've talked about it. We talked about it several weeks ago when they had the ceremony. Been in our community 50 years, man.
Yep.
50 years. And anybody that knows Brother Deloy, first of all, you know how much he loves his people. Second of all, you know the brother can talk. Brother Deloy can talk. But at the same time, man, another thing that you know, man, this man is so humble. He's helped so many people. He's helped organizations like ours when we didn't necessarily have the funds, but wanted to do mentorships and lock-ins and things like that. And he's opened up his facilities to us, sometimes for an all-night lock-in, and it just said, pay what you can.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, we know electricity, power, all of that costs. So, you know, we definitely not some of the ones that, you know, try to shortchange, but that's just in his heart. You know what I'm saying? If he see you putting in work, he's going to look out for you. You know what I'm saying? He's going to look out for the elders. He's going to look out for the youth. Man, what has Shape Community Center meant to you, brother?
Well, I first got involved with Shape Center as a student activist at Texas Southern University. And one of the first things we were working on was the body camera policy. So the city approved like $6 to $8 million on these fancy new body cameras, but our issue was it doesn't matter if you spend all this money on the body cameras if the police officer can just turn them off and murder a young black person and turn it back on.
Wasn't working.
It wasn't working. And so we went and shut down City Hall, and we was able to get them to improve the body camera policy to where when they press the button, it catches 2 minutes of action before they press the button. So if they try to say they forgot, we can still catch what happened. But I had a conversation with Brother Deloy, and he talked about how it's important to protest, it's important to raise awareness, but after that happens, there needs to be some programs in place. There needs to be institutions. We need longevity. And he talked about how, you know, at Shape Center, we have the after school and summer youth program to educate our children and to provide affordable daycare for our mothers out there. You know, we have the free legal clinic on Saturday mornings where we bring an attorney in and we give free legal advice to the community. We have the community co-op garden where we provide fresh produce for the community. You know, we live in food deserts. And so I was elected as the youngest person ever to the board of directors in 2017, about 2 years ago.
Congratulations on that,
Thank
bro.
you. And it's been the honor of my life to serve with Brother Deloy and the board members at the Shape Community Center. It stands for self-help for African people through education. It's like the United Nations of the hood. Like you said, everybody who's doing stuff in the community has come across Shape Center in some form or fashion.
Come on, man. And they got the big thing where they say, you can't lead the people if you don't love the people. You know what I'm saying? And also talk about serving. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Brother Deloy is a server. And like I said, man, when you see Baba out there working, you can't help but to, you know what I'm saying, try to do something, man. So Shape has an event coming up, right?
Yes, sir. So like you said, it's our 50th anniversary. It was established in 1969. That's the year my mom was born. So
hey, Mama.
Yeah, shout out to Mama Dukes. But so we're having a poetry slam to celebrate the 50th anniversary. Man. The poetry slam is hosted by AJ McQueen, a writer's block. Shout out to
man.
Boy.
Yeah, shout out to AJ, man.
Yeah, he doing major things.
For sure.
And so it's $10 to get in. You know what I'm saying? $10 on July 25th. It's gonna be at our Alameda location. So that's 3903 Alameda. July 25th. Doors open at 7 p.m. And so definitely come out here, some great local poets. It's going to be a great time. It's for a great cause. So, yeah, definitely come through.
Most definitely. How can they get tickets? Or they just got tickets at the door?
We will be posting the tickets online, but be on the lookout at shape.org. Shape.org, or you can find me, Anthony Collier. It's on Facebook. I'll definitely post the link, so you can find me on Facebook at Anthony Collier, we'll make sure we get those tickets. For sure, man. I'll make sure that, you know what I'm saying, now I'm getting the word out there as well, man, just because, like I said, man, we have to continuously keep this gem in our community as much as we can. Man, bro,
I appreciate you for coming through, man.
Oh, thanks for having me,
bro.
man. It's a
You
pleasure.
like I said, I gotta have you back, man. You know, and you welcome, man.
Yeah, we can definitely do that for sure. Yeah.
For sure, man. You know, I'm always there anyway.
Right.
So, for sure.
Right.
Hey, man. Before we get out of here, man, could you give the people your contact information and how they could just holler at you? You know, if you have.
Sure, yeah, no problem. So you can find me on Facebook at Anthony Collier. That's Collier. On Instagram and Twitter at Praises Collier, which is PRAESESCOLLIER. So again, that's Anthony Collier on Facebook, Praises Collier for Instagram and Twitter.
Most up, man. Before we get out of here, man, you got anybody you want to shout out? Anything, you know what I'm saying, you need to let the people know about?
Yeah, well, so I will say that, 4th of July is tomorrow. And, Frederick Douglass once said that the 4th of July is a day that reveals more than all other days in the year the gross injustice and cruelty to which we are the constant victim. And that still rings true today. So we still aren't treated like equal citizens in the United States. So on the 4th of July, just remember that, to keep fighting, keep struggling, because we've made some progress, but we haven't made it yet. And it's up to each and every one of us to lift our people up.
Ooh, man. Like I told you, man, this brother be killing it, man. Hey, man, I appreciate you, King, man. Like I said, man, you're welcome anytime, man. Jay Nicole, man, get the people those tickets.
Man, look, y'all, I keep telling you this, it's your girl, Jay Nicole. I be trying to put y'all on the hot, on the good, what's going on in H-Town. And on Saturday, August the 3rd, the place that you need to be is High Volume Music Live at 8405 Alameda Genoa for the Action One Media first anniversary concert. It's going to be a banging lineup. Get your tickets, weareA1.com. Click on buy tickets. Early bird tickets are only $10, so make sure you guys get in the action and get in the building.
For sure, man. Hey, another week up, another week down. Remember, action, agility, life, and community. The new age of media. Action One is here. Jay Nicole, how we leave them every week.
Get in the action, baby.
Peace.
I got this feeling and it burns through my soul and it makes me feel all kinds of good. A simple feeling and I just can't help myself. It just makes me feel all natural from the way that I talk, yeah, and the way I lay my tracks. You would think I was from way back. He says I'm from another era and I can't get with that. Just be yourself, you'll rule the world. He wants me to be natural, baby. He wants me to be free. He says he loves it when I'm natural. He loves it. He loves it when I'm natural, baby. He loves it, and I'm feeling for ya all the time. Just be yourself when I'm around. He says he loves it when I'm natural. He loves it. Ooh, just be yourself, just be yourself. Ooh, just take your time. Ooh, you're not even 30 yet. Ooh, you're doing just fine. With life, take your time, do it right. He says he loves it when I'm natural. He loves it. He loves it when I'm natural, baby. He loves it, and I'm feeling for ya all the time. Just be yourself when I'm around. He says he loves it when I'm natural. yourself. Ooh, be natural. Yeah. Ooh, don't be no fool, don't play yourself, just be yourself. Ooh, be natural. Ooh, don't be no fool, don't play yourself, just be yourself. Ooh, be natural. He says he loves it when I'm natural. He loves it. He loves it when I'm natural. Baby, he loves it. And I'm feeling for ya all the time. Just be yourself when I'm around. He says he loves it when I'm natural. He loves it.
Peace, brother Atum Ra. You tuned in to Action One Network.
Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. Back in this thing again, A1 Live. We appreciate everybody that's checking us out via Facebook Live. Everybody checking us out on weareA1.com. Make sure that you go on Google Play and get the app. You know what I'm saying? The app is out now. You know what I'm saying? Apple coming soon. You know what I'm saying? Tell them quit making us jump through the loops because we coming, man. You know what I'm saying?